I just spent 8 hours with the top 10 business owners on Skool from last month, sharing the money-making strategies that they used to win the Skool Games. Here are the best ones. The first thing we talked about affected every business in the room and yours, which is how to get more leads and how to turn those into customers.
So it's using a free Skool group.
Okay.
Okay, so essentially what we do is we create like content on YouTube, Instagram stories. We're doing a bit of cold outreach as well. That would really help with this.
So you're doing content?
Yeah, but it was barely any content
is one of them. You're doing outreach to the people who follow and all that stuff on your content?
Yeah, and also we were getting like Skool organic traffic as well.
Yeah, starting to do that.
Yeah.
What ranking are you?
Ranking?
Your free group, like, you know, you're in Discovery?
No idea. Like, we didn't optimize for that.
I am.
Be worth looking at. Do you know how many searches a day we get on Skool?
I don't know.
A lot. A lot.
Like, yeah, there's a lot. But honestly, there's more visits to profiles.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they go profile and then see what
way more
group you're in.
traffic goes through the profiles.
But Zane, so you have content, you have outreach. We'll get you. Don't worry about it. We have content, we have outreach. What else are you doing?
Yeah, it's like the Skool organic, so people just click in my profile, and it also being on other people's profiles as well. You know, they just join our curiosity.
Yeah.
So we then get those people, they join the free Skool group as well, so we promote on like whatever platforms.
So how do they, so in each of these, so you make content and do you have it in like the description and do you integrate into the content? Like, hey.
Yeah, so I just like leave the link in the description. Also, I'd put in my Instagram bio. So actually in YouTube videos where I just promoted my Instagram, people would join the Instagram or follow me on Instagram and they'll just join the community out of curiosity, even though I didn't promote it. It was just in the bio. With the outreach, we didn't promote the free group. That's only like if people weren't interested, which is like, okay, we've got this free group, you might want to join it. And then with Skool, people would just join naturally.
Okay. So I'm gonna say bio
group.
links
Yeah.
plus description.
Yeah.
Okay, got that. And what's in there, is that the free group or the paid group?
It's all free.
Okay, so this goes to the free group. Free Skool, got it. All right, what else?
Okay, so when they join, they get the auto DM, which is the first line of our DM script. Okay, and then we also, in the classroom section, so we have like a start here post that tells them to go to the classroom.
So DM as soon as they join the free Skool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all on the free group.
Got it. Okay.
And then we also have like a start here, like pinned post that tells people to watch a course, and there's a pinned course as well. So that's in the classroom section, and the course is essentially like a perfect webinar by like Russell Brunson.
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of break it into a course, but it's like a perfect webinar.
Yeah.
And it indoctrinates them to like book a call, and then we just close them on the call. And then we also did the DMs as well.
So you CTA to call, and then what do you do to maintain the value in the community?
Yeah, so our community is actually like, it's extremely like inactive. So I just put a post like now and then, but it's like the members who are inactive are the ones buying though. It's like
because you have like zombies or like dead bodies there.
Yeah, so like the free community has, I think it had like 400-ish members, 450-ish, and we got like 53 sales. So it was very like high converting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty active. Yeah, but the community was dead. But yeah, people.
So you converted 14% of people who went to your free thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Into your, got it. And did you convert them into just a higher ticket paid community? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so it was $9.99. Yeah.
Got it.
That's why it's dead, by the way. Because you just took the most engaged people and moved them out.
But your high ticket community is engaged.
Yes, that's completely active.
Yeah.
If you take your most engaged people and you take them out and put them somewhere else and you're like, talk here instead, of course, it makes just total sense.
No, it's like the people who are inactive were joining the high.
Because they're active there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. That's actually true.
No, that's exactly why. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also tested this with someone else as well. So he was going to enter the Skool Games, but he just kind of gave up. But he was making like $500 a month, and we got him to $10,900 this month. So what the funnel was TikTok and Instagram real short form content for the Skool community, exact same process, and we basically 20x'd his income.
So literally just drawing. I mean, I was saying this the other day because somebody asked me this question, I think on a Q&A call, but it's like, how do I convert people from free to paid? And I still think that the single simplest way to do that is just like, depending on the price point, like if it's a low ticket paid, then you just add the onboarding call to personalize their experience, which then it's like, hey, what are your goals? What are your obstacles right now? You know what? You might be a really good fit or whatever. And then you can just sell straight into it. if it's higher ticket, then you have your your VSL or your webinar or whatever that you incorporate into their onboarding process and allow them to self-select if it's a $5,000 or whatever plus offer.
That's probably the most. I can imagine that would be the most widely adopted method.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's simple.
It's the most easy to understand.
Yeah,
I mean, I almost didn't understand anything else that I heard.
Yeah.
But that,
yeah,
I've seen that be used over and over and over again, like in a lot of slightly different ways. But because a free community, if you've got content and then you're promising a free community, conversion rates are through the roof. It's the most efficient mechanism to convert them.
It's a lead magnet. I mean, fundamentally, the community.
Yeah.
And like on the free community as well, you make like indoctrination posts. It's like, how Russell Brunson talks about like the internal beliefs, the external beliefs. You just basically shatter all their limiting beliefs.
Kirby, you need to make a note to make a training on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a simple version of this, which is just traffic,
free group.
Yep. Free school.
It's the group funnel.
Yeah. Free school.
We already have that training.
Yeah, but it's old and in the wrong place.
And it was for high ticket.
Yeah, and it's for, exactly.
But that works so well.
It's probably the most common pattern on Skool is I think someone did an analysis that almost everyone ranking in Discovery and Leaderboards has two groups, one free, one paid. It's like
it's the funnel. Yeah,
it's the tactic.
Yeah.
And it works, yeah.
So this, like, for everybody at home, traffic, free school, DM to Webbies, plus all, basically you just drive everything there. So your pin post there, you make content, you soft toss it, be like, hey, make sure you watch this.
And they're doing the pitch in the classroom, which kind of is disarming because you're like, oh, this isn't a webinar.
Yeah.
It's a module.
And we've got some people to, rather than making like one long video, because this is what I teach the students as well, is to break it up into small videos and like distribute the webinar like that.
Make it not look like it's like there's 4 videos, an introduction and then 3 core stories, and the 5th video is I've got this thing for you.
And it puts everyone off guard as well, because like I don't sign up to webinars anymore because like I'm in that space. This just puts people off guard completely.
Yeah.
Every step of this is like extremely efficient because like I know if you have a link in bio to a free group, it absolutely crushes. Like those groups are the ones that are at the top of Discovery because it's just so efficient. We see 80% conversion rates on the pages. Like, and so you get them in, and then the auto DM sends like 100% of people, and then you put them to that module, and that module it starts the funnel, and the funnel is like module 1, module 2.
Yeah.
And then you get them onto a call.
Yeah.
Which is probably going to be the most efficient method at converting free to paid.
Yeah.
And some people, they don't even book the course. So they watch the course, they don't book the call. But then when you DM them, they're like, oh yeah, I've watched the course, and then they do it. So it's like...
So you DM again, so basically after they watch it, you follow up DM?
No, so we just DM them anyway. But some people just still watch the course and then book, or they'll book later on, they'll just come back to it. And as long as you're making the post, then they're like, they go back to the course to get the link, and then they book it.
Yeah.
How much is the thing that you're selling them, the paid group?
So it's $9.99 a month.
Okay. But this could work even for a cheaper thing.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to do high ticket. You don't even have to do a call actually. It could just be selling a $99 a month thing over DMs and maybe even a call. Because I'm just thinking for beginners, you need, because you don't have a ton of traffic and a ton of like privileges to work with essentially. You have to like get the most efficient conversion at every point, right? Because you're looking to squeeze every last drop.
It's also, I mean, this is also from a technical complexity, like this is pretty simple. Like click to free, free to, you make the 5 modules, and then you talk to them and ask them.
But yeah, this is the most effective. It works amazingly well as well, because especially with the short form content, this is something I realized recently. So the guy we was working with, he had like 900 members. He made one post and like 800 people joined. And we were like, that's insane. And of course we booked like hundreds of sales calls from that.
Yeah, it's monster. This is very simple. I like this a lot. Do this. This is great. Really good. The thing that I keep this is me making a bet, is that I will bet that there's going to be a lot more $1,000 a month type quote high ticket like shifting over, partially because of what you noticed, which is if you can double or triple acquisition, because it's LTV to CAC ratio. And so you can still drive down CAC a lot to improve that ratio. And so I think, I mean, the space always has like a vibe, right? Like you have like the rank and rent, which is kind of coming back, right? I think in the high ticket world, there's a lot of people had like the pendulum swung a little bit this way. And I think it's kind of coming back just a tiny bit, where people, this is why like brand and content and like value in advance is becoming more and more important, because there's not a lot of trust. And to be fair, there will always be less and less trust over time. And the more mature the platforms get, the less just eyeball arbitrage exists. Like if you remember for that 5 seconds that Clubhouse was a thing, like I knew plenty of people who went on there and then we're doing like 100,000 a day on Clubhouse because it was just huge arbitrage of eyeballs. They're getting way much more exposure than they normally would. But as platforms kind of settle, then it's like, okay, who's legit starts to rise and who makes the best content and things like that. And so right now there's not like, besides Skool, there's not like another platform that's really like emerging. And so it's my belief that that's why content stuff is so important. It's because it'll improve conversion across the funnel. And I think that this whole $1,000 a month, like instead of being the $3,000, $4,000 a month, I think a lot more people are willing to stomach the $999 a month because they can see. And as soon as we roll out more stuff with like reviews and things like that, it'll just make it more and more trusted. And I was talking the other day about this, but like if I could start Gym Launch all over again, probably the biggest thing that I would have done differently is I would have probably tried to make it like 10 grand a year. And I would have put all my focus on how do I keep 80, 90% of my customers renewing. And that would have been my main focus. Like I just want such a crazy value to price discrepancy that no one would leave. And they would refer more people, et cetera, et cetera. Because I would have probably acquired 2, 3, 4 times the customers, but they also would have stuck longer, because like over the last however many years we've done like 5,500 locations that have gone through Gym Launch, and like if all 5,500 of those locations were still paying me, I'd be richer than I am today. And so I think about that a lot of like, sure, there's on one hit, like when you don't know how to sell, it's very exciting to like start raising your price and be like, oh my God, I just sold 10,000. Oh my God, I sold 20,000. Oh my God, 100,000. Like it gets really cool. But once you learn how to acquire customers, you then become completely obsessed on the other side, which is, oh shoot, you realize the game, like Sam and I've talked about this at length, which is you don't want to keep having to go get customers. I mean, of course you have, like, you want to be able to go get customers, but not to have to go get customers. And so like, that's the big difference. And so like, when I look at businesses now, I care almost exclusively about how much does this thing grow on word of mouth? How much, like what percentage of customers stay every year once they're like in and activated and whatnot? Because then it means that I get credit for customers I sold 2 years ago. And so even if you sold 100 customers a year, if you can keep all of them, 10 years from now, you're 10 times bigger. And so the vast majority of like the internet marketing world focuses on growing by simply selling more units because they can't keep anybody. But the people who make the most money just don't lose customers. But you have to like learn how to sell in order to get there. But like, this is kind of the evolution that happens. And so pricing, my thoughts on pricing has changed from the old school Dan Kennedy model, which is like, say as high of a price as you can without cracking a smile. Like it swung back a little bit more to like, well, let's just make them smile at how blown away they are with the value that we have. And then they're more likely to tell their friends, more likely to stay longer. And then like, I wildly underestimate how much word of mouth affects these businesses. Like some of you guys have probably bought coaching courses and whatnot because a friend of yours was like, oh, I went through his YouTube training. It was actually really good. And then that guy doesn't know that you were told that. He just sees an ad and he sees a conversion. And he's like, oh, my ads are killing it. But it's not that. It's because the product's really good. And so like in the early days of Gym Launch, we got 100-to-1 return on advertising. It wasn't because my ads were exceptional. It's because everybody who was going through was just printing money. And so like that's the big shift. And those are the guys who make the most money. It's the ones who actually have a pretty good product.
In the second clip, we talk about pricing. And I talk about pricing a lot because pricing has the strongest lever on profit. More than getting more customers, more than even retaining them longer. Nailing pricing will make you more money than any other skill.
I have a question on the pricing because I did, what you said, charge as high of a price, and I tried to increase it, but I didn't follow the principle of only increase the price after sufficiently increasing value. So I noticed the people are much more likely to ask for a refund at the higher price. Before it was 77 a month, now it's 137. Mm-hmm. Should I suggest going down to 87, which is still bigger than the previous price? Or
it's not a huge price change.
Okay.
Yeah, just 77 to 137 is not like a math. I mean, there's definitely going to be a jump in terms of conversion, or like rather a drop in conversions. But all you're optimizing for is conversion rate times LTV. That's the whole equation. So we talked about the 4 levers in this business, right? Like you've got traffic, you've got conversion, you've got price, and you've got churn. Like those are the 4 levers. So like to grow the business, you have to decrease churn, but increase the other 3, right? And so if you know that, let's say you've got 100 clicks to a page, let's say at 77, you convert twice as many customers. Well, it comes down to really just like what's your earning per eyeball. And in the affiliate world, it's called EPCs, which is earning per click. And so you just literally want to make the most money per click over the longest period of time. And so now if the 77 converts at twice the percentage of the 137 and they churn at half the rate, then when you do that hypothetical max calculation, you'll be like, you literally, all of this is just math. You just plot see what it looks like, see where it maxes out, see what the other one maxes out at, and you're like, okay, that's the price.
So how would I do that if I'm sending people straight from YouTube to About page on Skool?
You look at what it's at 137 or whatever, and then you knew what your metrics were at 77, right? And so you just compare here, let's do the math. So let's say you've got $77. Oops, there we go. That's a 7. All right, there. And what was churn on 77?
Well, I don't have the exact number, so that's another issue, obviously.
Yeah, okay.
Like,
let's just walk through it hypothetically.
Like
Give me
3
a
months
ballpark.
average would stay people.
Okay, so that would be 33% churn, right?
Yeah.
And so you divide that by
I
churn.
have bad numbers because I started like a few months ago.
Dude, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
On 137, it's probably like 2 months only.
Okay, cool. All right, so 137 divided by 50% churn means you just double 137, right? And so you've got, what is that? 274 is LTV here. And then here you've got, what's that, divided times 3?
241.
What was that?
231.
Thank you. 241?
31.
31. Okay, cool. So LTV here is bigger than here. But then the question comes into conversion, right? Which happens before this. So then you're like, all right, what percentage of clicks do I convert here? What percentage of clicks do I convert here? And so can someone do 274 divided by 231 for me?
1.186.
1.186?
Yeah.
Right, so if you can convert more than 20% more on this one than this one, this makes you more money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and how would I track that if I'm sending people from YouTube straight to Skool About page?
We've got to just use some like fancy guesswork. But you should have got a feel of like when you were making a video
how many
or
per day?
putting a link, how many kind of members joined.
Yeah, okay.
And do you know if there was a big drop or if it kind of stayed the same?
No. I mean, there probably was a decrease, but not, more than 20% or whatever.
Well, 20% might be hard to feel.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like one day you get 4, one day you get 3, like 5. Like that might be tough to feel. But I know that metric's coming out soon anyways for us. So as soon as that conversion metric's on there.
I've already looked at it, by the way. Like conversion rates across the platform. The biggest indicator is the price, obviously.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, some free groups convert at 80%. But the difference between, something that's like 10, 20, 30, those things can convert like 5%. But once you get a price that's like over 100, it drops significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here we know what each of these is worth. And so you're just thinking what percentage of people buy it? And that's the conversion. And so if 50% more people buy this, then you're like, okay, well then 50%, I'm making 50% more sales at this price versus, this is just a classic like chart of pricing versus volume. That's all it is. I really want to make sure it makes sense though.
Yeah.
Okay. This is how you figure out pricing. And I would just encourage you guys to be willing to test. Like the PC who just sold Profitwell, they did this big meta study, but basically the more frequently you analyze price, the more profitable your company is. It's like a direct correlation. So companies that never look at their price or never adjust their price are way less profitable than ones that look at it annually, which are less profitable than ones that look at quarterly. So just be willing to test price.
I got some questions for you though. Like, which one do you think is making you more money on your traffic? Because your traffic's probably remained somewhat a constant, right?
Well, I'm not pushing as hard as during the Skool Games, because I was selling every video, and I don't want to do that for a long-term brand. so it's hard to compare. But I would say it's more like the optics of being less than 100 a month feels like different, than over 100 a month.
So which one do you think was more efficient?
Probably 77, because it's like I feel like the product has more aligned with the value there.
And your audience is younger, I'm guessing.
No,
they're not.
25 to 60 males.
Well, I'll tell you personally, we have a portfolio company that we ran. This is like this. You guys might find this really interesting.
Hey guys, if you want to be in this room, it's actually free for all these people because they won the Skool Games. And so Skool is a community platform. It helps you build a group and a community that you can monetize online or that you can build for free. And so we give you the tools, we give you the training, and we give you the community so that you can actually recreate that. And as of right now, 54.1% of people who start a paid community on Skool make at least $1. And so I say that because the first dollar in business is the hardest one to make because there's so many skills that are required to get there. And we've been obsessing about this for the last 5 years to make it as easy as humanly possible. If you want to start for free, you can go check it out. And if you want to ask me a question, I onboard all the new customers every single Monday. So sign up, start for free, and I'll see you next Monday. It's skool.com/games. Have you ever looked at yourself in the mirror and thought, wow, I should be further ahead by now? If you're trying to make money online or start your first business and feel overwhelmed, you're not alone. Every day you see other people succeeding and you wonder, why am I not succeeding? Maybe you don't like your job or you're unfulfilled. You want to do something you love and make money, but you feel stuck, bored, confused, or maybe all three. I get it. I spent years in the exact same spot, afraid to fail, but ashamed of being afraid. And it wasn't until I paid another business owner to teach me how to run a local business that I felt comfortable starting my own. He showed me the ropes and gave me the confidence to start. And after scaling my local gym chain from learning this stuff from him, I started a company called Gym Launch, which I sold years later for $46.2 million. Now what I want to do is repay the favor. I want to show you the ropes the exact way that business owner did for me. And as the person with the largest community on Skool, which I'll tell you about in a second, I can show you exactly what to do. You can start your own online community business today with all the things I didn't know when I started my first business for free with the Skool Games. So imagine building a business being as easy as playing a video game with step-by-step instructions, live workshops, real-time leaderboards, and new friends to make it fun. If all that were true, would you at least be interested? Okay. Now, you might be wondering, well, what exactly is Skool? How do the Skool Games work? How much does it cost? Do I need to be an expert? Do I need an audience? What are the prizes? Great questions. Let me break it down for you. Skool Games is a fun, easy way to build your online business. No experience or followers needed. Just simply choose a painful experience you overcame, something you find interested or you're passionate about, or some skill you learned throughout your career, no matter how small. It could be as simple as a better way to organize folders, or meal prepping for kids who have food allergies, or travel hacks. And then all you have to do is just invite people to community about overcoming that pain, following that passion, or learning that skill. And we'll show you exactly how to build it and monetize it on your first try. Now, if that sounds insanely simple, that's because it is. So check it out. Hakeem, a former barber, now teaches barbers how to cut hair, and he makes over $16,000 a month in recurring revenue and was able to retire his mom from his online community. Levi and his partner from Music Money VIP help musicians and creatives learn the business of making money, and they take home over $30,000 a month from that community. Evelyn gained 234 members on her first month in the Skool Games organically, just from the millions of users we already have on Skool. And how about Christian, who simply teaches people how to flip phones and then was able to make a phone flipping community? Kai created a YouTube community helping other YouTubers make better thumbnails and headlines. And this is the first time he's ever made an offer, and he's earning over $57,000 a month after his first Skool Games. Nate and his brother are really into anime and fitness, so they created a community to help people do anime and fitness together and become their own heroes. And they did $91,000 in recurring revenue their first month. And Kenneth started Creditpreneurs, a community that helps people improve their credit scores and makes over $70,000 a month in recurring revenue. Interested yet? Good. Because Skool Games was designed to smash through every obstacle that once stood in the way of starting an online business. It's why we have such an insanely high success rate. We've obsessed for years about removing everything that stops people from succeeding. And that's why with the Skool Games, you can succeed without an audience or expertise. Because let's face it, most people don't. And so we had to figure out a way to help people win. And of the 5 out of 7 communities I talked about earlier who won the Skool Games in their first month, only 2 of them had organic followings before they started. You don't need any fancy software, calendars, payment processing. Everything you need is already built into Skool. And you don't even have to know what your community is going to be about yet. I'll show you how to pick it. It's simple, and you can do it in less than 20 minutes. And if you're wondering, well, how do I get people invited to my community? Don't worry, you don't have to ask people you know. We've made it simple to crowdsource your community, just like Evelyn did through Skool itself, on the millions of users we already have on the platform. As for tech skills, you don't need any. If you have the technology to watch this video right now, you already have all the tech you need to start, scale, and succeed. So what happens if you sign up right now? Well, you'll follow our process, you'll build a paid community about whatever it is you love, and if you become one of the top 10 communities on the leaderboard, you'll join me and other successful community owners here in Vegas. And even if you don't win the first month, you get to keep competing every month until you win. And then you can join all the alumni and all the past winners to get to the next level. Remember, the only guarantee is that if you don't take the shot, you'll stay exactly where you are. But if you do, you could be the next one coming out to Vegas celebrating how quickly you built an online business with consistent monthly recurring revenue. You in? Click the button below to join the Skool Games now. If you join this month, I'll personally onboard you live. Sign up and I'll see you on our onboarding call on Monday. You can ask me whatever you want. Now, if you're worried about starting a free trial, we offer an unconditional money back guarantee. So if you finish your trial and you forget to cancel, just let us know and we'll refund you. All right, we just want people to win. And I'm gonna say this one more time because it's important. 1 out of 2 people who start a paid community in Skool make money, with the average paid community owner earning $1,360 per month. You really can do this. Click the button and let's get started.